This is a public information meeting recording for a development agreement application for 34 Sun Valley Drive, Aylesford. My name is Will Robinson Mushcat, and I'm a planner with the municipality of the County of Kings. The purpose of the meeting is as follows. It is to inform the public of the application at hand. It is to explain the planning policies that enable this application to occur, and it is to receive preliminary feedback on the application. Please note that no opinions have been formed on this application and no decisions will be made tonight. Background and proposal. Terra Beata Farms are cranberry producers. They recently purchased a property located at 34 Sun Valley Drive in Aylesford. The property was also used for cranberry farming prior to purchase by the current owner. There is a large building on the site that was formerly used as a farm supportive building, processing and storing cranberries. The intention is to repurpose the building for general warehousing, then to subdivide and sell the building in a small portion of the total lot. What is a development agreement? A development agreement is a contract, a legal contract between council and a property owner. It restricts the developer to the use or types of uses outlined in the development agreement. It allows council to exercise more specific control over not only the type of use or uses, but over the character, form, and maintenance of the development. Finally, it runs with the land. That is, the conditions do not change or cease if the land changes ownership. This is a map of the municipality of the County of Kings. You'll note the orange reddish circle that appears on the left-hand side of the screen. That is the approximate location of the subject property within the community of Aylesford. This is a aerial photograph of the entire subject property. So you'll note it's a very large property, an irregularly shaped parcel. However, the main focus of this development agreement, as it will only cover a portion of the subject property, is located here, close to Highway 1 with access off of Sun Valley Drive. And this is the building in question that was used for former cranberry processing storage, and the intention is to convert this via the development agreement into a building for general warehousing. This is a zoning map of the subject property, so you'll note that much of the subject property in question is zoned A2, or the rural mixed-use zone. However, a portion of the property and a portion that would contain the building and is intended to be subdivided falls within the O1, or environmental constraint zone, and that's owing to the properties or this portion of the property's proximity to the Annapolis River, which you can see kind of meandering through the property here as well. I'd also note that on the opposite side of Highway 1 from the subject property is zoned A1, or agriculture. This is a future land use map of the subject property and the surrounding area. So the majority of properties, including the subject property, all fall within the agricultural designation that prioritizes agricultural uses over other forms of land use. There is a portion of the surrounding property that is designated residential, and that's located within the growth center boundaries of Aylesford. This is a site plan that has been submitted by the applicant. So again, you'll notice that this proposed development agreement only covers approximately 7.5 acres. That's found within that bolded black line. You'll note the building again on the subject property, and a gravel driveway that extends across the river from Highway 1 onto the subject property, and then onto the portion that would be covered by the development agreement. This is a photograph of the building, as well as a structure that would be decommissioned and dismantled on the right-hand side. This would be looking in the eastern direction. This is a photograph of the interior of the subject building. As you'll note, it's a vacant building, quite large. This is another photograph of the interior of the building with large bay doors that can be used for moving goods in and out of the building efficiently. This is a photograph of the front entrance to the building, looking again kind of in the eastern direction. This is a photograph taken from roughly the same location as the previous photograph. However, this is looking towards kind of the northeast direction, so the vantage point's changed here. This is a photograph of the side of the building that would be facing the northern side. You can see just to the left-hand side of this photograph, the banks of the Annapolis River. And this is looking at the building from the opposite side of the photo with the main entrance. This is looking in the western direction. And this is returning again to the opposite side. You'll note the building and the main entrance to the left-hand side, and this would be looking directly south towards the cranberry fields. With regard to the specific policy that enables Council to consider the development agreement application, Policy 3.0.4 of the Municipal Planning Strategy notes to consider only by development agreement a change in a non-conforming use of land or a non-conforming use in a structure to a use similar in nature that is not permitted in the zone. And in evaluating such developments, Council shall be satisfied that A, the new use will not adversely affect adjacent land uses. B, adequate buffering, setback, or separation distances are maintained to reduce visual and other impacts on surrounding uses. C, the new use is not obnoxious by virtue of noise, odor, dust, vibration, smoke, or other emission. D, adequate provision is made for the acceptable maintenance and appearance of the new use. And finally, E, the proposal meets the general development criteria set out in section 5.3, development agreements and amending the land use bylaw. And what are these criteria? These criteria are found in Municipal Planning Strategy Policy 5.3.7, and they are the criteria upon which all development agreements and planning applications for that matter, including development agreements and land use bylaw, map amendments and text amendments, are evaluated against in order to ensure that they are the proposed use is suitable. So one, that the proposal is in keeping with the intent of the municipal planning strategy, that it meets the goals and objectives of the municipal planning strategy, that there's no undue negative financial impact on the municipality as a result of the proposed land use, that the surrounding land uses are compatible with the proposed use or proposed change in use, that there's, when applicable, adequate supply and reasonable proximity of school, recreation, and community facilities, that there'd be no undue creation of traffic hazards or congestions as a result of the proposed use, adequate fire protection for a proposed use, when applicable, adequate sewer and water services, when applicable, that there'd be no undue potential for flooding or serious drainage problems, when applicable, no negative impacts on well fields or other groundwater supplies, pollution, such as soil erosion, siltation of water courses, when applicable, no negative impacts on lake water quality or wetlands, and when applicable, no negative impacts on farming operations. And finally, the site is suitable in terms of its physical characteristics, such as grade, soils, geological conditions, locations of water courses, marshes, bogs, swamps, and proximity to utility right-of-ways. With regard to the development agreement process, a completed application has been received by the municipality, and we're at the very early stages of the planning process with the public information meeting Following the public information meeting, staff will conduct a review of the application against the planning policies and evaluated criteria contained within the municipal planning strategy and seek comment from outside departments such as Department of Public Works or Nova Scotia Environment when applicable. It would then, a report would be drafted by staff and a draft development agreement prepared. And this would go to the Planning Advisory Committee for their review and recommendation. Following the Planning Advisory Committee, the application would go to Council for initial consideration, where a public hearing would be scheduled. Properties within 500 feet will be notified directly via letter mail of the public hearing. And the public hearing is also advertised twice in the local newspaper. Following the public hearing, which is another opportunity for members of the public to comment on the draft development agreement as finalized, the application would go to council for final consideration, or council would vote to approve or deny entering into the development agreement. And this is followed by a 14-day appeal period of council's decision to the URAB as mandated in the Municipal Government Act. With that, members of the public who may have questions or comments pertaining to this proposed development agreement application can contact me, Will Robinson Muscat Planner, at the municipality of the County of Kings. You can contact me via telephone 902-690-6173, email wrobinson-mushcat, mushkat, at countyofkings.ca, or our active planning applications webpage, www.countyofkings.ca/planning. Thank you for your attention.